You know when we go back to those classic anime from our childhood and suddenly realize how dark they really were? That's exactly what happens with Saint Seiya. Behind the shining armors and cosmic attacks, there is a layer of violence, trauma, and sacrifice that hits much harder than we remember. Hello, Saints and Amazons. Welcome to the Sempre Quiz Saber channel. As you already know, I'm Wes. And in today's video, I'll show you the most shocking and disturbing scenes in Knights of the Zodiac. Curious? Then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and let's dive into this amazing video.
I've always wanted to know.
Scene number 1, Cassius's ear in the beginning of violence. We begin this saga with Seiya, our Pegasus Knight, still learning what it truly means to be a knight, and his very first lesson is a bloody one. Right in the first episode, we are thrown into Seiya's training in Greece, where he must face Cassius to earn the Pegasus armor. Cassius is not just a rival, he is a mountain of muscle. Driven by pure hatred and jealousy towards Seiya, Shayna of Ophiuchus, his master, was secretly in love with the Pegasus Knight. What happens in this very first battle is only a preview of the brutality that lies ahead. Seiya blocks one of Cassius's attacks, but the impact is so powerful that it rips off Cassius's ear. Cassius, a massive and ruthless warrior, is completely obsessed with his master, Shayna. The severed ear is more than just an injury. It symbolizes that Seiya has surpassed Cassius. The image of the ear flying through the air along with the blood was censored in many Western broadcasts, highlighting just how violent this scene was for a children's show. It is a shocking opening that immediately sets the tone of the series. To be a knight of Athena, violence is unavoidable and the rules are brutally unforgiving. Scene number 2, Shiryu's eyes and the price of loyalty. Shiryu, the Dragon Knight, is perhaps the one who best represents the idea of extreme sacrifice. He is constantly on the brink of death, losing blood, or risking his own sight to protect his friends. During the battle against Algol of Perseus, the Medusa Knight, Shiryu's friends are turned to stone by the Medusa shield. Algol of Perseus wields a shield adorned with the head of Medusa itself. It is one of the most terrifying weapons imaginable, capable of petrifying anyone who looks directly at it. Shiryu knows the shield must be destroyed, but he cannot face it. The solution is horrifyingly simple. Without hesitation, he blinds himself with his own fingers. Just imagine the pain and determination required for such a sacrifice. He does this consciously, knowing it is the only way to stop his friends from being turned into stone. The scene is both graphically shocking and emotionally devastating. Total sacrifice defines the moral code of the Dragon Knight. To Shiryu, the lives of his friends are worth more than his own sight, making this one of the bloodiest and most unforgettable moments in the classic saga.
I'm not crazy. Every time we fight, we put our lives at risk.
Scene number 3, the death of Master Guilty and the birth of hatred. None of the Bronze Knights had an easy childhood, but Ikki's journey to obtain the Phoenix armor on Death Queen Island is a true emotional nightmare. To become the Phoenix Knight, Ikki is forced into a brutal training where the only way forward is to embrace evil. Death Queen Island is portrayed as a place of pure hatred, where many knights lost themselves to darkness. His mentor, Guilty, is the catalyst for this transformation. A man consumed by darkness who teaches Ikki that survival requires becoming a demon. The climax comes in the most traumatic moment of all. Ikki is forced to kill his own master, Guilty. He does it, but the act scars him deeply and turns him into the saga's first true antagonist. What Ikki endured was not just harsh training, but psychological torture, where love and compassion were replaced by hatred to awaken the Phoenix. The moment Ikki witnesses the death of his beloved Esmeralda becomes the final trigger that pushes him toward cruelty.
Your parents who died after abandoning you.
Scene number 4, Pandora's pursuit of young Ikki, Roots of Darkness. Even before Death Queen Island, a sinister presence was already shaping Ikki's life. This scene, explored in greater depth in the manga, shows Ikki and Shun's childhood and how Ikki was marked from an early age. He runs through a narrow, shadow-filled path, sensing a presence that feels inhuman. He does this to protect Shun, while the young Pandora relentlessly chases him. Pandora is the human servant of Hades, who marks Shun from childhood as the future vessel of the god. Because of this, the chase is deeply traumatic. Ikki is just a child, and his brother is still a baby. Even so, young Ikki stands his ground, trying to protect his brother from the forces of the evil god Hades. While Shun grows into a gentle and peaceful soul, Ikki responds to fear with rage, a trait that defines him from childhood. He refuses to submit. This resistance to supernatural evil forges the proud, relentless knight that Ikki ultimately becomes. This is the origin of his strong personality, forged through pain and loss.
Impressive. He never gave up, even when facing such a harsh situation.
Scene number 5. Hyoga's mother and Camus' cruelty. Hyoga, the Swan Knight, carries one of the heaviest emotional burdens of all, the memory of his mother, who sank with her ship. In the manga, Hyoga's mentor is Camus of Aquarius. The Gold Saint Camus believes that the only way for a saint to become truly strong is to completely abandon emotion. His method of strengthening Hyoga is an act of calculated cruelty that rivals even the worst actions of the villains. Knowing Hyoga's emotional attachment to his mother, Camus sinks the ship where her body rests, ensuring Hyoga can never visit her again. This act is framed as a lesson, but in reality it is emotional and psychological abuse. Camus forces Hyoga to confront his loss in the most brutal way possible, so that his focus shifts entirely to defeating his enemies. It is a deeply disturbing moment, showing how even a gold saint can commit an inhuman act in the name of a twisted ideal of strength.
Ordinary people may live like that, but you are not one of them. You are a saint. You should thank me for erasing your past.
Scene number 6. Hyoga's chest is pierced. Ikki's fury. This moment marks one of the earliest and most brutal displays of Ikki's rage against the Bronze Saints. It takes place during the first major confrontation between Ikki and the Black Saints. The Black Swan had copied Hyoga's techniques, but Ikki memorized them through his opponent, rendering himself immune to Diamond Dust and Aurora Thunder. At this point, Ikki stands as the saga's main antagonist, consumed entirely by anger and resentment. During the battle, Ikki effortlessly repels Hyoga's Diamond Dust. He then uses the Phoenix Phantom attack to shut down Hyoga's nervous system. The final blow is brutal. Ikki punches straight through the swan cloth, critically wounding Hyoga. The attack is cold, direct, and merciless, but it is not fatal, as Hyoga freezes Ikki's arm at the last moment, showing his resilience. It is later revealed that the Northern Cross Rosary, a gift from Hyoga's mother, protected him from a fatal strike. This scene stands as a turning point in Ikki's cruelty, shortly before the beginning of his redemption. Scene number 7. Deathmask's gallery, Trophies of Resentment. The battle through the 12 houses is already intense, but the Cancer House is more than a fight. It is a descent into psychological horror. The Cancer House stands apart from the Zodiac's aesthetic. Its walls are lined with the faces of Deathmask's victims, preserved as grotesque trophies. Deathmask of Cancer is a gold saint who fully embraced evil, believing that strength and justice are one and the same, and that cruelty is a necessary tool. The interior of his temple is pure horror. Countless distorted, crying faces cover the walls of what should be a sacred sanctuary. The battle escalates as Deathmask drags Shiryu to Yomotsu Hirasaka, the hill that leads to the underworld. This is the passage between the world of the living and the dead, where Deathmask rips Shiryu's soul from his body and casts it away. The vision of the abyss and the souls falling into hell explores the fear of death in a deeply disturbing way. It is an incredibly heavy scene for an anime that was originally aimed at children.
It's full of heads. And not just on the ground. They're also on the walls and even on the ceiling.
Scene number 8. Ikki and Capella's brutal battle. Violence is illusion. The Saints face the unimaginable. During the fight against the Silver Saints, we witness one of Ikki's most violent moments, as Capella of Auriga uses his cutting weapons, the Auriga discs, to strike directly at Ikki's head. In the anime, this apparent mutilation is revealed to be an illusion, created by Ikki's Phoenix Phantom Fist. Even so, the visual of the hero being decapitated and dismembered is shocking and deeply unsettling. The scene toys with the viewer's perception, making it seem as though one of the protagonists has been brutally destroyed. The illusion of death carries nearly the same narrative impact as a real death. Most surprising of all, Capella ends up having his own arms severed by his discs. This is another effect of the Phoenix Phantom Fist, marking one of the most brutal illusions ever created by Ikki.
Phoenix weapon. No, Capella.
Scene number 9. Shiryu versus Shura, the ultimate sacrifice. Shiryu's battle against Shura of Capricorn is a clash of convictions. Shura wields Excalibur, an invisible, razor-sharp blade that extends from his arms and legs. He is a gold saint who believes himself to be Athena's one true defender. Driven by that belief, Shura repeatedly strikes Shiryu, slicing through his armor and flesh as if they were paper. Shiryu attempts the Dragon's Fury, but the attack proves ineffective. Shura, despite recognizing the true determination of the Bronze Saint, prepares to deliver the final blow. Shiryu grabs Shura's arm as it pierces his body and, with a decisive strike, severs the Gold Saint's arm, an extremely violent and bloody moment. Here, Shiryu reaches the peak of his sacrifice. Realizing he cannot defeat Shura through strength alone, he chooses the ultimate path: mutual destruction. Shiryu grabs Shura and unleashes his forbidden technique, the Last Dragon Attack, which concentrates all of his cosmos into a suicidal ascent. Both warriors rise into the sky, plummeting toward a final impact that would kill them both. Moved by Shiryu's willpower and loyalty, Shura repents and saves him, shielding him with the Capricorn gold cloth and passing on the true spirit of Excalibur. Even so, Shiryu's willingness to completely sacrifice himself to eliminate the threat stands as one of the most epic and tragic moments of the saga.
Incredible. That speed is burning the gold cloth, the strongest armor among the saints. My body is about to fall apart.
Scene number 10. Ikki pierces Kasa's chest, the price of vulnerability. In the Poseidon Saga, Ikki returns to aid the Bronze Saints. The battle against the Marina General Kasa of Limnades becomes a study in emotional manipulation and weakness. Kasa of Limnades possesses the ability to transform into the person his opponent loves most. He is a cruel warrior who exploits grief, longing, and emotional pain. He deceives Seiya, Shun, and Hyoga, pushing them to the brink of death. The Phoenix Knight arrives and strikes Kasa with the Phoenix Phantom Fist, briefly assuming the Marina General's form. Ikki, the Knight of Hatred and Resilience, is nearly deceived when Kasa takes the form of his brother Shun, but he overcomes the shock and drives his fist straight through Kasa's chest. On the verge of death, Kasa attempts one final move, transforming into Esmeralda, the woman Ikki loved and lost on Death Queen Island, his one true weakness. The sight shakes Ikki deeply. He hesitates. Kasa admits that had he discovered this weakness sooner, he would have won. Even wounded and shaken, Ikki does not fall. He destroys the Antarctic Ocean Pillar with a Libra Trident and finishes Kasa once and for all. Yet Kasa's final attack proves that, beneath all the hatred, the Phoenix Knight remains human, carrying a deep emotional scar within his heart.
You killed your brother, Phoenix. You're a bastard.
Scene number 11. Ikki pierces Shun's chest, the corruption of evil. This is, without question, one of the heaviest moments in the Hades saga. Ikki is teleported by Pandora to Judeca, where he finds his brother Shun, now marked and possessed by Hades. Hades is a parasitic god who uses Shun's body as his ideal vessel, leaving Shun's soul completely absent. The encounter is devastating. Ikki, the proudest and most relentless of the knights, breaks down before his brother. In the manga, Shun appears far more menacing when possessed, with cold, empty eyes, while the anime emphasizes the emotional impact of the scene. Ikki finds his brother's body, but what inhabits it is a cold, emotionless presence with no trace of humanity. Driven by despair, Ikki attempts the unthinkable. He pierces Shun's chest in an attempt to tear Hades' soul from his body, but he fails, and Hades takes full control. The agony of having to attack his own brother in a desperate effort to save him marks the absolute peak of Ikki's suffering.
Shun. Shun. Please forgive me, Shun.
Scene number 12. The Sword of Hades, Seiya's final trial. The Hades saga represents the peak of violence and trauma, with the heroes facing an apparently invincible god. The climax of this war comes when Seiya is struck by Hades' sword. This cursed weapon is capable of damaging not only the body, but also a knight's cosmos in an irreversible way. Narratively, this moment represents Seiya's ultimate defeat. He is gravely wounded. With the sword's cursed energy embedded in both his body and his cosmos, the consequences are devastating. After the battle, Seiya falls into a semi-catatonic state, nearly vegetative. By the end of the classic anime, he is confined to a wheelchair, unable to move. This wound inflicted by Hades is not merely physical. It marks the end of the hero Seiya as we once knew him. The classic saga closes with the protagonist's greatest personal tragedy, setting the stage for the next dimension arc. It proves that defeating the god of death still demands a lasting and personal cost. This dark ending defines the true meaning of being a knight of Athena.
Oh no, Seiya.
It's fascinating how Saint Seiya balances adventure and hope with moments of pure horror and despair. The series pushes its heroes to the limits of pain, trauma, and sacrifice, so that we can witness the true power of the cosmos. Tell me in the comments what you consider the darkest scenes in Knights of the Zodiac. Who knows? Maybe there will be a part 2. And as always, thank you for watching until the end. Until next time, burn your cosmos to infinity.